In ancient times, it's said that Sindbad, known for his voyages across distant seas and mysterious islands, decided to embark on a new journey to discover what lay beyond the far-off oceans. Sindbad had heard tales about a mythical bird called the Roc, a giant bird that could fill the sky when it flew. Its wings were said to obscure the sunlight from the earth. For Sindbad, the Roc was like an untold legend from another world, and he decided this time to try his luck and seek out this great bird. Sindbad and his crew prepared for the journey, and the ship set out to sea, heading towards a mysterious horizon. The waves were calm at first, the winds favorable, filling the sails with a refreshing breeze full of hope and excitement. However, as they ventured further into the open sea, the weather changed and the sky began to cloud over. Despite the changing weather, Sindbad insisted on continuing the journey towards the legendary island said to be the home of the Roc. After days of sailing, Sindbad and his crew sighted a massive island on the horizon. The island was larger than they imagined, its mountain peaks disappearing into the clouds, seeming like a land belonging only to the giants of nature. The surrounding creatures hinted that they had entered a mysterious land full of secrets. The ship approached the island, and the crew prepared to land. They set foot on the ground and began to explore the dense forest covering the island. Enormous trees intertwined, seemingly weaving tales of adventurers who preceded Sindbad in this place, but never returned to tell what they faced. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they began to hear strange bird calls and unusual movements from within. Suddenly, Sindbad spotted a massive feather on the ground, as large as a full-grown man. It was then he realized that he was near the abode of the Roc, the mythical bird he had come to find. As the sun began to set, Sindbad and his companions decided to set up a small camp and spend the night on the island, intending to continue their exploration in the morning. But during the night, Sindbad was awoken by a massive sound shaking the forest. It felt like an earthquake or a storm. Gazing through the trees, he witnessed a terrifying sight, a colossal bird descending from the sky, its wings wide like a black cloud covering the sky, slowly landing upon a mountain peak near them. Everyone was terrified by the size of this bird, feeling like dwarves in comparison. The Roc had landed on the mountain peak and seemed to be looking for food. Sindbad felt a mix of astonishment and fear, but decided, despite the danger, to get closer to see this legendary bird up close. The next morning, Sindbad and his companions set out on a journey to climb the mountain. The climb was challenging and perilous, with slippery rocks and sharp slopes, yet they persevered. As they advanced, they reached a place on the mountain where they found traces of recently hatched enormous eggs, the remnants of which appeared like stone houses, each fragment being larger than a human. There was no time for Sindbad and his companions to ponder over what they saw, because suddenly they heard the sound of massive wings approaching swiftly. The Roc was returning and the crew felt horror, hiding among the rocks, trying to stay out of sight. But the enormous bird spotted them, or perhaps sensed their presence, and began to circle above them, its sharp eyes as fierce as flames. Before they could react, Sindbad decided to show bravery, instructed everyone not to move, and waited to observe the bird's reaction. As the Roc looked down on them, a herd of deer suddenly passed by. The bird struck swiftly, grabbing one of the deer and flying away, leaving Sindbad and his companions astonished by its speed and immense power.